So the way that we're going to look at this, if you guys remember before, I had a number line where I colored from -2 to -8, and I colored in between both of them. So if we look at interval notation, I'm going to go from -8, comma, -2 with parentheses. I use parentheses because it's not equal to. And if I was going to use inequalities, I would say x is greater than, definitely not equal to. I would say x is greater than -8 and x is less than -2. So you see that I can write my solutions three ways. I can write it as a number line, I can write it as interval notation, and I can write it as an inequality. Alright, so you guys should be pretty good with 4.9. If you didn't get that homework done, make sure you finish it. Alright, you guys are going to like 4.10 because it's going to be similar. Or it's going to be something familiar, something you've seen. So, if I give you a vertex of 1 and -2, and I tell you that there's a point, how did I spell vertex wrong? Don't pay attention to that. And if I tell you that there's a point also on this graph is 3, 2, can you find the quadratic equation for this situation? So the answer is, of course you can. Alright, I know vertex form is going to look like this. Y equals ax minus h squared plus k. And if I plugged it in, this is my h, and that's my k, and this is my x, and this is my y. So the only variable I don't know is a. So I can say 2 equals a. X minus h is going to be 3 minus 1 squared plus -2. And now we just solve. 3 minus 1 squared is 4. So I have 2 equals 4a plus a -2. That's an a. Add 2 to both sides. 4 equals 4a. Divide by 4. A equals 1. So I can write my equation as y equals 1 x minus 1 squared minus 2. Oh, just kidding. Minus 2. So I've written it. Now, if I ask you to put it into standard form, you can multiply that out. If I ask you to put it in factored form, you could multiply it into standard form and then go ahead with factored. You guys are good at that. So the second half of this is if I give you the x-intercepts of 2 and 5, and then I give you a point, 4, -2, can you also find a quadratic equation? And you guys are also pretty good at this. My factored form looks like this. Y equals a, x minus r, x minus s. So now it's just a matter of plugging in the information we have. It looks like we have we have an r, we have an s for our intercepts, and then we have an x and we have a y. So if I plug all that in, I have -2 equals a x minus 2, x minus 5. And I could even do this even better. Instead of putting x's and x's, couldn't I just substitute what my x is, which is 4 and 4? Perfect. So I have -2 equals a. Let's see, that would be 2 times -1. So I get -2 equals -2 times a. And when I divide by -2, I get a equals 1. So again, I could write my equation as y equals 1, x minus 2, parentheses, and x minus 5. Very, very easy to write. And if I asked you for standard form, you could multiply it out. And if I asked you for vertex form, you could take this form, you could multiply it out into standard form and then complete the square. So you guys can be really good at that. This should be an easy part of this. Alright, so the only part that's going to be exciting is what if I just give you 3 points and I don't designate them as the x-intercept, the y-intercept, or anything like that? How do I find a quadratic equation now? And you guys have worked on this before, but we're going to make sure you're really, really good at it. So, we know the general form of a quadratic, the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. And now I'm just going to substitute in 3 times. So I'm going to substitute in 3 times and have 3 unknowns. So I have an x and a y, an x and a y, and an x and a y. So here we go. I have 0 equals a negative 1 squared plus b times negative 1 plus c. So if I simplify that, I have 0 equals a minus b plus c. Next one, if I take this x and y, I have negative 2 equals a times 1 squared plus b times 1 plus c. So when I simplify that, I have negative 2 equals a plus b plus c. Now, with 3 unknowns, I'm going to need 3 equations, but it looks to me like I already have something cooking right there. I can definitely eliminate that b value to help me out, but we'll get the last equation. So the last one is, oops, I need to get back to my other pen. I have negative 15 equals a times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c. So this way I can have negative 15 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. Alright, so now I have 3 equations with 3 unknowns. Alright, so this was the only new part that you have. Now it's just solving a system of equations. So are you good at that? So I would pause this video right now and see if you can't go about and solve that all by yourself. Go ahead. Alright, so as I solve my systems, I'm just going to put these together. So I'm going to take the easiest, I'm going to take the first 2, and I'm just going to merely add them together. If I add them together, I'm going to eliminate that b variable. So 0 and negative 2 give me negative 2. A plus a gives me 2a. Negative b plus b, those cancel out. And then c plus c is plus 2c. So now I'm down to 2 unknowns. So the next question is, can I use these 2 equations to get down to the same 2 unknowns? And I'm going to start off by multiplying that middle equation by 2. So I get negative 4 equals 2a plus 2b plus 2c. And then I'm going to use the exact same equation on the bottom. Negative 15 equals 4a plus 2b plus c, and I'm going to subtract them. That way I'll eliminate that b variable. So negative 4 minus 15. Alright, so we'll put these together. I'm subtracting them because I want to eliminate that b variable. So negative 4 minus 15, that's a plus 15, so that gives me 11. 2 minus 4 gives me negative 2a, and 2 minus 1c gives me plus 1c. So perfect. So I can take that information and bring it right up here. So I have 11, I have minus 2a, and I have plus c. Alright, well this works out great. The coefficient on my a are the same. So when I add these together, I get 9. My a's are eliminated. 2 plus 1 is 3c, so I know right away my c is 3. Sweet! So once I know that, I can go back and solve for everything else. So because this equation's right here, I'll just plug in 11 equals minus 2a plus 3. Again, I just substituted that in there. If I subtract 3 on both sides, I get 8 equals negative 2a, so my a value is negative 4. So if I have my a and I have my c, I just need to find my b. So see if I can squeeze it in on top. 0 equals, I know this is negative 4 minus b plus 3. So if I have negative 4 plus 3, I'm going to end up with negative 1. So b has got to be equal to negative 1. So if I have my a, my b, and my c, I can plug those in and write my quadratic formula. Negative 4x squared minus 1x plus 3 equals y. And I can solve it. Alright, so hopefully you got the same answer as me. Alright, so the only thing left for you guys to do is your homework. on page 312, you need to do numbers 12, 15, 16, 24, 31, 34, 37, and 49. Do not forget about 4.9 homework either. I don't know if you got that finished or if maybe the notes at the beginning of this helped you. So do your homework over 4.9, do your homework over 4.10, and next time you come to this class, you guys will do a practice and a quiz. Thanks.